Good morning and welcome to today's 5-minute message. We're in Galatians chapter 2. We're going to be looking at verses 11, 12, and 13 today. But before we get started on this new section, I've got a story for you. So at my place of employment, I work at a grocery store. We've got a manager and an assistant manager. And at the store, we tend to like both of them very well. We've got a lot of new people coming in and out of the store. And one day this guy came in. He was looking around the store. He had a clipboard with him. He was writing things down. He seemed really attentive to what was going on at the store. He was making notes of things he wanted to see changed. And he seemed much more interested than he should have been. Most of the employees had no idea who he was or what he was doing. They were wondering if maybe he was a state inspector. Maybe he was a vendor. Maybe he's a district rep for some kind of product that we sell. Is this someone we should pay attention to? How could you tell if he was to be respected in one of our stores, or should he be escorted out? What if I told you after a while he went up into the store office with my manager and started telling him what to do? And what if I said that my manager listened to him and did everything the man asked him to do? Who would you begin to think that this guy was? What if I told you it was my boss's boss? I definitely don't have the ability to tell my manager what to do or how to do it, but since this guy could, that must mean that he's got a great deal of authority. What could that tell you about authority structures in the life of the apostles? If I told you that one apostle was able to have a conversation with another apostle and tell him what to do, would that lend some credibility and authority to that apostle? What if I told you there was a time when the apostle Paul had to talk to, well, not just talk to, but confront the apostle Peter about something? What would that tell you about the authority and credibility of the apostle Paul? Today, as we begin this next section of the book of Galatians, we're going to be looking at chapter 2, verses 11, 12, and 13, and we're going to see something about authority. God wants you to watch the authority of the apostle Paul. And in these 3 verses we're looking at today, we're going to see confrontation with Christ. Not that Paul is going to be confronting Christ himself, but with the authority of Christ behind him, Paul is going to be confronting the apostle Peter. Let's read these verses. Now, when Peter had come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face because he was to be blamed. For before certain men came from James, he would eat with the Gentiles. But when they came, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing those who were of the circumcision. And the rest of the Jews also played the hypocrite with him, so that even Barnabas was carried away with their hypocrisy. Well, this is not good. Why would Peter decide to do stuff like this? Peter had instruction from Acts chapter 10 to go to the household of Cornelius, who was a Gentile, and share the gospel with him. And God had given him some specific instructions, and you're more than welcome to read Acts chapter 10 to see what Peter was doing with Cornelius and the dream that he had and those sorts of things. Peter knew that the gospel was going to the Gentiles, and they were going to need to include Gentiles, and God was bridging the gap between the Jews and the Gentiles, and you can read more about that in Ephesians chapter 3 as well. So Peter here is not doing what he should be doing, and he knows that. And he's getting other people to be a hypocrite like him. He's separating himself from the Jews to only eat with them. What's wrong with the Gentiles? Come on, Peter, work with us here. And Paul knew that this was hypocrisy. Paul knew that this was wrong. And in an attempt to try to demonstrate his authority as an apostle, he's going to share this story of his confrontation with Peter. See, these people in Galatia were questioning the authority of the apostle Paul. Paul's going to demonstrate to them that he has credibility and authority as an apostle, and in fact, he's going to even show that he was able to withstand to the face the apostle Peter to correct him because he was to be blamed. And if you don't think that he'll correct you too, you got another thing coming. Have a great day.